God, please don't drop. Please don't drop. There we go. Sign into chat, open in web browser. We are doing the thing and the stuff. How do I... You need to collapse back down, my friend. There we go. There we go. Little hand doodad up there. We're chilling. Small dog. We're kicking it, man. We're kicking it. We're hanging out. We're relaxing, my tiny little dog. Right there. Perfect. Perfect! Everything's perfect. What up, Christian? What up, Travis? How you guys doing? How are you guys doing tonight? Zach, what's going on? Christian, welcome to the channel, my dude. Does everyone have anything, like, exciting going on? Exciting stuff happening in the world? Anything, like, crazy fun? Crazy fun. Hi, Small Dog. Small Dog's chilling. He likes heating pads, so he's, like, crashed on a heating pad right now. Borforts, what's going on? How you guys doing? Exciting stuff happening? Exciting things happening with you guys? Because I got some, like, exciting stuff happening that I am, like, super pumped about, that I can't, like, fully disclose to you guys yet because nothing's, like, quite set in stone. But I'm pumped. I'm pumped for, like, the next week and a half. See what's going to happen. Dorian, what's going on, dude? Yes, sir. Not missing this one. Good in you. You know, just kicking it. Hanging out with you guys tonight. Literally dropped 4K on car parts today for the STI. Ooh, that's always exciting. That sounds expensive, but that's always fun and exciting. I bought some more EG33 parts yesterday, which was really annoying because somebody stole my bank account info. Like, don't do that. Don't be like the people out there. I genuinely don't understand. They go out and they buy, or they don't even buy. Yeah, they buy like these like card reader program things to like steal your bank account information. It is extremely annoying. Whoever's Uber ride I paid for in San Francisco, I hope you enjoyed your ride, as well as the scooters that you were riding around. Because thanks. Got that taken care of. But I did get the oil pump stuff ordered for the EG33, so we can rebuild and reshim the oil pump. I got the rest of the timing covers ordered. The timing belt stuff, that's going to have to wait just because that's like stupid expensive. I was looking at it, and Subaru Parts OEM, they want $170 for a timing belt, $90 per idler pulley, $130 per like toothed pulley. Stupid expensive. I priced everything out. It came out to like $900 for all these timing components. I was like, I'm gonna try to find like a cheaper, more cost-effective way to be able to buy all that stuff. So I'm still in the hunt for the timing components, but oil pump stuff, that stuff has been ordered. So slowly but surely things are happening. No update on the pistons either. So CP Pistons is still taking their time with our pistons. Finally got off work. Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. I totally feel it. What's up, man? Working tonight. Dude, I'm working every night. I totally feel the pain, Logan. I feel the struggle. Struggle bus is real. Adam, what's going on, dude? How you doing? How you doing, Adam? David, is 400 wheel horsepower safe on stock internals? That entirely depends on the motor that you have. I don't know what engine you have, so I cannot confirm nor deny if that is safe or not. EG, we talked about EG updates a little bit. For the most part, the motor, I have no updates on the motor just because we're, like I said, we're still waiting on pistons. So once pistons are done, one day, maybe this year, hopefully the block can get put back together and get it sent back up here. I already have everything to be able to install it back in the car. I'd like to wait to be able to put the motor in the car until we can get all the timing stuff on there, so that way I can time the motor while it's on the stand and then put it in the car, so that way I'm not trying to fight with timing while it's inside of the car. But I mean, either way, I don't mind doing it in the car if it is in the car or not. AJ, what up? What up, dude? Dude, I'm so inspired by you. Please keep posting. I bought a 2018 WRX, and you have been my savior. Well, congrats on the car, G-Siege. I don't even know how to pronounce that, JSIJ. Congrats on the car, my friend. And there will always be more videos. Is it possible to roll the rear bumper part of the fender on a WRX? Yeah, I did it on mine. You just got to be pretty aggressive with the fender roller, and you can do it no problem. Add a lot of heat. Make sure you have a lot of heat going onto that fender so you're not just like full sending it with the fender roller, but it should be totally good. A special place in hell for people like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't steal bank account information. That's just not cool. Nothing about that is cool or chill. I had to call my bank and be like, yo, I have no idea what these 30 charges are for like random, like Nutra Diet. Why are you spending $7 out of my bank account on Nutra Diet? I don't even know what you're eating, but I don't get it. I just don't understand. Ned Flanders. I like that. I like that screen name. Enjoy your videos. Thanks for all the content. Anytime, my dude. Always appreciate the support. Did I lose anything from my card? I didn't, actually. So I mean, the bank obviously refunded me all my money. I go through like Navy Federal and USAA, both super awesome banks if you guys are considering swapping to like a different bank. Completely off topic, but they were super awesome with it. They got it taken care of in like 20 minutes. It was just an annoyance. Cross your fingers. My turbo arrives before my tune date. Looking like they're getting back ordered. If you have to, just push out your tune date. I had to do that with the STI. Actually, I do that with the BRZ also. I had to push out the tune date just because I was waiting on parts from MA Performance for so long. So, I mean, if you have to push out your tune date, just push out the tune date, dude. Also, I'm about to buy an access port and an SF intake because of the deal on the access port. Yeah, I think it's like 10% off is what Cobb does for Black Friday deals. They always do like 10% off on all their products, I believe. It's like the only time of the year Cobb actually puts anything on sale. It's ridiculous. Send it, Christian. See, that's what I'm saying. Send it. Is for a 2018 STI. My goal is 400. Oh yeah, dude, you're solid. You have the yeah, you have the Type RA short block in your car. I believe you have the Type RA. Is that the 2018 or 2019? That might be 2019 plus. Either way, you're good for 400 wheel horsepower. If you have the older engine like I do, I'm having like a brain fart. I don't remember if they put the Type RA short block in there. Even if you have the older engine, you're totally fine doing 400 wheel horsepower. Just do it reliably. I have that whole build series on my STI from when we made 401 wheel horsepower on the stock block. The motor was totally healthy. It was totally fine. You can definitely do it. Is AVO a good turbo? Probably going to turbo my BRZ, and I don't want to add too much horsepower and want to add a bit more. So whenever it comes to turbocharging a naturally aspirated car, especially with like a BRZ or something like that, your tuner is definitely going to be able to control how much power the car makes by limiting boost parameters that it's making. As for the AVO turbo question, personally, I'm not a huge fan of AVO's turbo kits for the BRZ FRS GT86. I just don't like turbo placement. Their kits are quality. Their kits are good. But AVO, yes, they are a solid brand. You're pretty safe bet going with AVO. A reliable 350 wheel horsepower on unequal length. You can totally do it. I've done it before. I've done it with 3 of my older STIs. You can totally do it. You're live on a Tuesday, and I'm home from work to catch it. This is a miracle. Walter, how you been, dude? I have not seen you swing through a stream in quite a while. I know you've probably been busy with work and everything like that, but good to see you swing through, Walter. Glad that you are kicking it at home, hanging out with us in the stream. Get into autocross, question mark. So, Chris, I actually used to be a sponsored driver for autocross racing 2.5, 3 years ago for a company called HPT Motorsports. I was digging through some of my old emails, and I actually happened to come across my sponsorship application over to them from like it was like 2013 or something like that. But yeah, I used to be like super big into autocross. It's just really hard to do a lot of motorsports up here, especially in the wintertime and with like COVID going around. Government-wise, they shut down pretty much the entire state. Weather-wise, weather is always raining, it's always cold, it's always wet. There's always standing water on the roads also, which doesn't help for being able to go out to the track. One of the tracks they're repaving, so this last year has been awful. Everything's been shut down. The weather just hasn't been permitting us to go out and do anything like exciting or fun like that. It's one of the drawbacks of living up in Washington State. Melanie and I were talking about potentially moving here in the next year or so. We were talking about like Arizona, Texas, somewhere a little more sunny, a little bit warmer also. Like, as much as I love Washington, it's wet, it's cold, and it's rainy for like, I don't know, like 8 months out of the year. It's not enjoyable. I have a 20 WRX, currently have Cobb SF intake, access port, J-pipe. What other stuff should I do to make it reliable 310 horsepower? EGR delete, TGV delete, air oil separator, boost controller, bypass valve, probably not a bad idea, intercooler, charge pipe, and you pretty much should be good to go. If you want to do ethanol, ethanol is also going to give you a huge bump. Shave your beard and get a creepy stash for one video. Why? What, you say that because you saw Matt's stash in the last video? I don't look good with a mustache. I look weird with a mustache. I look like some dude who like sits in the corner and doesn't talk to anyone. We'll see. I don't know. If enough people want me to do a mustache, I'll do a mustache for one video. Next time I shave, I'll do a mustache for one, if enough people want it. Just send you pics of the first HKS turbo kit for the 4th turbo BRZ in Mexico on IG. I will swing through Instagram probably again later tonight. I was swinging through Instagram a little bit earlier, trying to get to some of your guys' messages. It gets like the way that Instagram works is when you guys send me a message, it goes, I have a primary inbox and I have a general inbox, and then I have a requests inbox. And Travis, I'm gonna unhide that comment. I like that. But I have 3 inboxes on Instagram. So when you guys first message me and I haven't messaged back yet, it goes into the request box. And then if I respond to it, it goes to the general box if I specify general or primary. And then when I get more messages in, they just pile on top of older messages, and it becomes like a huge like shit show of just messages, and it is incredibly difficult to even try to like hold a single like conversation in any of them. So I definitely try my best to get back to you guys on Instagram. It's just it becomes like so confusing to try to follow 200 messages a day, trying to filter through them all, but. I swing through there every now and then. You guys might get like 1 or 2 messages back, and I might be like in context with what's going on in the conversation. But for the most part, live streams are the best place. Where did I just go? NutriDiet hackers gotta stay healthy. They do gotta stay healthy too. Hackers gotta stay healthy. Everyone gotta stay healthy. Subaru didn't turbo the new BRZ because it'll affect handling. I disagree. I think Subaru could have manufactured the car to maintain a good distribution of weight. I think the biggest factor is the 2.0 Supra, but it's an entirely different topic. I got into it with Matt again today. So for those of you guys that actually like the new BRZ and you guys kind of stand behind it, one of them might be coming to the channel when they get released next year. I'm not buying one, but Matt has like heavily been considering buying the new BRZ when it comes out. So if you guys do want to see that, I'll keep in tabs with Matt to see what his status is. But for the most part, he has been like 80% confident that he is going to get the new BRZ when it comes out. So at least we can have like added car SKUs. I don't even know what you'd call it. More cars to the channel. I noticed if it isn't Killer Bee aftermarket headers that are designed equal length, I noticed if it isn't Killer Bee aftermarket headers that are equal length are 4:2:1 design, but equal length are 4:1. Which do you think is better, since the equal length has better piping design? So I've seen some equal length headers that follow the same as the unequal length manifold setup. It definitely plays a factor on like 4:2:1, 4-2-1, or like 4-1. It definitely plays a priority in how the exhaust scavenging works. But I mean, honestly, without like really looking into that a little bit more, I'm not going to be able to answer that question accurately. I'd have to do a little bit of research digging into manifold priority when it comes to like 4-2, like 4:2:1, or like 4:1, or they have other designs out there too, which are a little weird. They have like 4:2, and it just goes up to, I mean, that's primarily twin scroll stuff. I'm getting way off topic. I'd have to look into that a little bit more, Zach, to be able to give you a solid answer on that one. So I will note that somewhere over here. I have no sticky notes or anything, though. I have summer tires and live in California. Mostly hot here, looking to hit snow sometime in the next month. Should I get a new set? Yes. Summer tires are absolutely awful. I mean, I've had some like decent luck with summer tires in snow, but it also heavily depends on the type of snow that you're going in. If it's dry snow's like pretty much all right, that you can kind of manage because it kind of packs into the tires a little bit, and then you get traction from the snow on the snow. If it's like wet, like sloppy, gross snow, don't even attempt with summer tires, because you're going to be sliding around all over the place. You're not going to have any grip. There's probably going to be ice underneath of the slush. So it kind of depends on the snow that you're going in. A set of all seasons would probably do you a little bit better. But for the most part, I mean, I've used some summer tires before in like fresh, dry powder, and it's worked decently well, but only because I had that snow on snow traction. Tips for learning how to heel toe. And do you need it for the track? I mean, it definitely helps for when you go out to the track and you want to be able to do it. If you are looking just to practice, go find like some back roads around you, maybe some mountain roads, or depending on where you are, just like out in the countryside or something like that, and just go practice. I can make a video on that if you guys want to. We'll see. I'll add it to the schedule. I'll add it to like one of the videos list ideas up there, and we'll make a video on it. But for the most part, just get out there and go practice, go try, go hit up some like back roads, some canyon roads, some country roads, wherever you are. I mean, if you really want to, you could try to practice on the freeway if you wanted. You just do it safely. Always glad to be here, and yes, work has been a Debbie Downer on the chill time. I can totally see that. Totally see it. Walter, I was thinking of you the other day when we went up to IKEA when we had to grab some stuff. I don't know, random thought. Random thought. Happy early Thanksgiving. That is very true. What are you thankful for? All of you guys, because I wouldn't be able to make videos if it wasn't for you guys. So I'm incredibly thankful for everyone here. And happy early Thanksgiving to everyone, because I will not be doing a live stream until Friday, and that'll be after Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys are able to snag some good stuff on Black Friday and Cyber Monday too for your cars. You can also learn to heel toe in an empty parking lot. True. Come to Kansas. I don't know. Kansas is flat. I've drove through Kansas twice, and it was really boring to drive through Kansas. We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of stuff open on the table right now. Melanie and I are just like contemplating talking a little bit because here in the next year or so, we'd like to be able to go get our own place again. We are like incredibly grateful for Matt letting us crash here for the time we've been here and the continued time we'll be here. But at some point, we need to spread our wings and fly again because we are peacocks. You gotta let us fly. I have family in Texas and absolutely going to visit. I miss Texas. I mean, when I lived in Louisiana, we used to go out to Texas all the time. We go to Dallas, we go to Houston, we go to Galveston. What is that other? I don't even remember the other name of the city. It was a smaller city, but I love Texas. I miss Texas. Why does everyone want to go to Arizona? Only reason I liked Arizona is I lived in Arizona for a year when I was in the Army. It was southern Arizona, right on the border between the United States and Mexico. The weather was nice. It was like a good mix-up between where it's not always hot, it's not always like super sunny. We had overcast. It would snow up there too. I don't know. I liked the all-around parameters of southern Arizona when I was there, and it's just an idea. It's just an idea on the map. Mustache is a go. People seem to be digging the stash. All right, we might do a stash. Oh, crap! I'm in Washington State right now for 3 weeks. I'm in Tacoma right by JBLM. If I get the opportunity to meet you, let me know. I'm down for it. I'm doing an event on JBLM. That's why I'm in the state. Oh, first time being here. Welcome to the incredible rainy and cold state. It has been like super windy today. Like stupid amounts of rain. It's like crap weather right now, but welcome to Washington. I have no idea what's going on because like I said, government has pretty much banned anything that's like more than 5 people outside of your immediate household. But if anything does happen, I'll definitely post it up and I'll let you guys know. Have I ever thought about getting a sub $600 beater car and making an absolute meme of the channel? I have actually debated that. We've actually looked at some in the past, but the biggest problem with that right now is I can't really have more than 2 cars right now. With the amount of room that we have, I have half of the garage. Matt has half of the garage. We have 2 parking spots outside for the other cars for Melanie's Impreza and my other car. We have a blown-up Legacy on the side of the house, and then we have Matt's Outback and Matt's Ladies Crosstrack. So when it comes to getting another car, we're pretty much limited on space right now. We just don't have any more room to put any more cars. We need to get the Legacy fixed. That is one thing that's been on our radar. It needs a new motor. A couple months back, motor blew up on that Legacy. It's a white wagon. I don't think it's ever been on the channel, to be honest. But when the time comes to replace the motor and get that car running again, I will definitely cover it. But in the future, when we can get into a bigger space, it's definitely an idea. But yes, we have looked at some like sub $600, sub $1,000 beater cars also. Safest way to launch all-wheel drive. Any tips on launching the car with launch control without mess up the drivetrain? So obviously, launching your car is going to put a lot of stress on the drivetrain. It's always going to put stress on the drivetrain. Upgrade, and even when you go and you start like swapping out like bushings, mounts, all that stuff, all you're doing is moving the shock points from where the shock is going in the drivetrain to somewhere else. So I mean, you're always going to be putting an excessive load on the drivetrain when you go to launch. I mean, there's definitely things you can try to slip the clutch a little bit if you want, but that's going to be putting a lot more stress on the clutch. Honestly, there's no like go-to way without putting excessive wear or excessive stress on anything. There's always the potential to break something. It's always going to be there, especially when launching your car. I mean, if you really want to do it in like the safest manner, do it somewhere where you have a little bit of slip on the road, whether if like the road's wet, it's snowy outside, maybe you're in some sand or some gravel or something like that. Just make sure that you can get a little bit of wheel slip, so that way some of that shock from the drivetrain can be transferred down to the wheels and then kind of balances things out a little bit. Everyone dislike. Get out of here, John. I don't know who you are. I'm not going to kick you out, though, because I'm a genuine person and I'm a nice person, but I disagree with your comment. What do I do for a living? This. Videos. I'm like consistently making videos. We do one video every other day. So one day I shoot, the next day I edit. Shoot, edit, shoot, edit, shoot, edit, shoot, edit. Back and forth. Kick rocks John. I'm not going to kick John only because I am going to be the bigger person here. So John, if you want to kick it and stay, you can. But I totally disagree with your viewpoint. A 3 JZ. Ha! Hello, I'm new here. What's going on? Charter Sti? What's going on, Charter Sti? How's your night going, man? Move to a state without income tax. That way you can buy more parts. I would love that. We almost beat the like ration. Ration? What are you talking about, dude? I would love to. I would love to go to a state without any income tax, though. But I mean, you either have like income tax or sales tax, depending on where you live. Like up here, I don't think we have income tax. We have sales tax, and then no, we have sales tax, no income tax. In Oregon, they have no sales tax but income tax. I don't know. It's weird. Have I ever been in a car crash? Have I ever been in a car crash? I haven't. I have never. I mean, debatable. I mean, I crashed my mom's car in high school. She had like it was like a 2003 Mitsubishi Eclipse that I sent into a curb at like 60 miles an hour. I don't know if you count that as I mean, the car was totaled out, so I guess that was a crash. So yes, I guess I have. What up with the Xbox behind you? What games do you play, by the way? Was it? Oh, I didn't even notice the Xbox was on. Primarily right now it's Black Ops, Cold War when I do get the time. But for the most part, I mean, Forza every now and then, a little bit of Minecraft when I just kind of want to zone out and build a mountain or something. I don't know, whatever it gets built. Rebellious Goat, what's going on, dude? I was looking for an EG33 swap and came across you. Can't wait to see how it turns out. Hey, thanks, dude. Hopefully, like I've been saying, hopefully the motor comes back from out front here in the next couple weeks, or at least month. The big holdup right now on it is just waiting on pistons to come back from CP pistons. Once out front gets the pistons, we get the motor back. Already have the clutch, already have the motor mounts, already have everything to be able to bolt the block up inside of the car. Starting to save up for the ECU. I think I'm like $500 away from being able to buy the ECU, and once the ECU's here, we can actually go in and start doing all the wiring stuff because that's going to be the most time consuming. Exhaust work, that's going to be a fun one. I'm not going to be doing that because I'm not a good welder. I've welded once and it was halfway decent. Get the new 400Z and compare it to Matt once he gets a new BRZ. Once they both come out. I don't feel like that's a fair comparison, though, because the 400Z is a twin-turbo V6, or what it's projected to be. The BRZ is just the naturally aspirated flat 4, and the 400Z is also another 15,000 on top of what a BRZ is. So I don't think it would be a fair comparison, but I do think it would be kind of cool just to compare the two for funsies, but not really a straight across fair comparison on that one. Jimmy Kwan is onto something. See, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I like the thinking. I'm there with the thinking. Well, back to what I have. Have a great night and catch you on the next live stream. Have a great night, Logan. I hope you're chilling, dude. Just got my VIN sent to me today for my 2020 STI. Super excited to pick it up here in December on leave. Woo! Congrats, Tyler. Looking forward to you getting your car, man. It's always fun picking up a brand new one. I've only ever bought 2 brand new cars. One of them was my old WRX. The other one was Toyota Yaris, which 10 out of 10. Don't recommend getting a Toyota Yaris. One of the most boring cars I've had. If it was a GR Yaris, totally down for it, but it was not. Just a standard, plain, boring Yaris. When practicing heel toe, you really got to brake hard to do it right. I struggled for a long time from light. There you go. There you go. There's some tips. Some more tips. Stop by Utah, man. It's close to you. Utah is close to me. I've driven through Utah. I think I drove through Salt Lake City 2 or 3 times. Definitely like a nice drive. You want a nice drive, like Utah going up through, like, what is it, the Rockies? I think they're the Rockies out there, something like that. They go from like Colorado, Utah, stuff like that. Super nice area. Yo, quick question. Is there a big difference between an ECU Tech and Cobb tuning for 2015 plus WRX? So, for the most part, most pro tuners use the Access port. Cobb has kind of dominated the market with this program called Access Tuner, which works obviously with the Access port. Now, the ECU Tech software does work well, just not as many people use it. I know Delicious Tuning can do ECU Tech and Access port stuff, but the majority of people use access tuner and access ports. The UI, the user interface of the access port, in my opinion, is a lot better than the one of ECU Tech, just because you don't need to have your phone to be able to look at stuff with an access port. But I mean, you do get the benefit of having like Bluetooth stuff. They both do the exact same thing. I believe ECU Tech, I bought mine for around $450, so I think there's like a sub $200 difference between the two, but it is worth it for the access port because you do get the screen and it's just a little bit better to have. Come to Texas. That's what I'm saying. I miss Texas. Nice. IKEA will make or break you. Hope you got something good. We just went there for like a clothes hanger just to be able to like hang dry clothes or something. I don't know. We went there at like 8 p.m. It was really weird. TN, Tennessee or North Carolina mountain roads are good groups there. Ooh, let's see. There we go. There we go. Blacksmith, what's going on, dude? How's it going, man? Keep up the good work. About to start my 18 STI. About to start on my 18 STI. Going to have to go back and get some ideas on what I should do first. Dude, I got all the videos you could think of. Well, not all of them, but I got a ton. Back to the everyone dislike comment. Once again, John, I firmly disagree with your comment, but I'm going to be the bigger man here and not kick you out of the stream. Best affordable equal length header for 2015 plus STI. I think HKS is like the lowest I would go for like quality for price. HKS, I think you can get that one for like $650, $700 or something like that, which I'm sure it's going to be a lot cheaper with Black Friday sales and Cyber Monday sales coming out like that. So HKS, really good one to look into. IAG Konmeng, not sure what's going on there. What up, man? What up, man? I keep lucking out being able to stop it and kick it. What's going on, Aaron? I hope you're having a chill night, my dude. I agree with you, Kyle. Tennessee and North Carolina have some great mountain roads, and we have plenty of Subaru groups. That's what I'm saying. What isn't like Tail of the Dragon out in North Carolina? I believe that's North Carolina. I'm not entirely sure on that one. Hey man, if I want to have some fun in dirt, gravel, etc., in an 06, 07 STI, should I pull the ABS to minimize accidents and maximize performance? I got into a crash due to ABS on a dirt road in an 05. I think you can disable ABS. I'm pretty sure there's a procedure you can go through and disable the ABS so that way it doesn't kick in. You can also pull out the fuse for the ABS if you don't want to go through and like fully delete it. Just pop the fuse out. It should disable it. You should get the light on the dash and you should be pretty solid from there. It's just, to me, it doesn't seem like the work or worth the work to go through there and remove all of the ABS stuff unless you want to rerun brake lines, all that fun stuff like that. But I mean, if you're really dedicated to just pulling it all out, just pull it all out. What up, dude? What up, Charlie? What would be the reason for running a rotated intake? Just curious. What do you mean by a rotated intake? I've never heard of a rotated intake. There's like short ram intakes, cold air intakes, people who go rotated turbo. I wouldn't really call it a rotated intake, but it is an intake on there. It's just to pull air away from the turbo, so that way you're pulling a little bit of colder air instead of all the hot air that just rises above the engine. You're sucking everything in the turbo that way. Can help with IATs a little bit, but for the most part, like I said, short ram intake, Cobb SF, Grimspeed I think is a cold air intake also. Cobb SF with a box is pretty good short ram. If you want something to cold air that sits a little farther down in the fender, what is it, like Perrin, Grimspeed, those ones, they just pull air from a little bit down lower. I'm just not a huge fan of running cold air intakes, especially up in Washington, which is the primary reason why I don't like it. Is it's just there's a lot of standing water on the roads. If you have like a hole in your fender liner, or you go through like a deep puddle or something like that, you just have the potential to get some water up through the intake tract, which, don't get me wrong, the water has to go quite a ways to even be able to get into the motor, but I'm just not a huge fan of doing it. Headers, honestly, for power to dollar ratio isn't very much. If you're on a tight budget, I recommend not getting headers. True, entirely depends on your budget. It doesn't really make a huge difference up until you like really get into like higher power, or unless you're trying to make like above 350 or somewhere in that range. Minecraft slaps. I haven't played Minecraft in a while, but I do play it every now and then though. GTA 5. Also, congrats on pursuing this full time. Everybody thinks you're an amazing content creator and the best Subarus in general. Glad you're happy and pursuing what makes you happy. Keep it up. Hey, appreciate the compliment, Jared. It's definitely a lot more work than what I initially anticipated doing from the get-go. At first, I was like, yeah, when I first like started making videos, I was like, yeah, it can't be that bad. You just make a video here, video there, video. Nah, it's nothing like that. It is so much work, but it is so enjoyable, and I definitely enjoy doing it. And plenty more to come in the future too. I cannot wait. But 750 for headers is pretty cheap compared to Killer B, which starts at like 1300. Yeah, I think the cheapest like Killer B headers that I saw were like 1250-ish on sale. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Killer B. I love their products. Their products are a lot more expensive than some of their competitors out there. I mean, I've worked with Killer B a couple times with some parts that they've sent over in the past, but their headers definitely are expensive. All their parts are like crazy expensive, but quality. It's all quality. Also, appreciate the dono, Walter. Always appreciate it, man. Coffee on you. Done. I'm getting a coffee in the morning. It's totally on Walter. Totally on Walter. Thanks, dude. Always appreciate it, man. FP Blue. So want the turbo to kick in pretty well. I totally looking for something affordable. FP Blue. FP Blue is actually a really good turbo for the price. It's a little bit better than the Cobb 20G. I think it's a little bit cheaper than the Cobb 20G also. Cobb 20G maxes out at like 400 wheel horsepower. The FP Blue, depending on what trim you get, kind of goes up to like 425 wheel horsepower if you're on the journal bearing. If you get the ball bearing, I think you can squeeze a little bit more out of there. Have I seen Swiss Tunes super wide body GC8? I do not know. I've seen a lot of wide body GC8s, but as for like a specific company like Swiss Tuned or someone like that, nothing is really ringing a bell. You can run the blue on stock headers. You definitely can. Just gonna struggle at redline. True, but that's the thing. Like, not everyone's driving at like redline all the time. I mean, if you are driving and you're really getting on the car, you're only up at redline for maybe maximum 2 to 3 seconds before you shift gears or before you let it come back down. So, I mean, even if it is going to struggle up at redline, you're not going to be up at redline all that often. Hey, Tanner, how are you, man? What's going on, Neutron? Hope all is well. I ended up getting the Tomei instead of the NVIDIA N1 and absolutely love it, bro. Cobb SF intake, Tomei catback, stage 1 plus, freaking rips. That's what I'm saying, dude. The Tomei is a good-looking catback, and it sounds really good. The only thing that I don't like about the Tomei is the muffler size, because I feel like it is just huge. It's a huge-looking muffler. Good morning. I just woke up for the night. Well, good afternoon. I'll meet you in the middle on that one. Good afternoon. The Yaris. The Yaris was a joke of a car. Don't ever buy it unless it's like a GR Yaris or something like that. Don't buy a boring base Yaris. Oh, Melanie, I see you with the googly eyes over there, getting all googly. Oh, wait, Melanie, if you are still in the stream, since you are out at the store, did they have the popcorn chip things? Let me know, because I'm a little bit excited. Well, found a used Perrin Eagle Length header for $450. Woo! It's actually a pretty good deal. The only thing that, like, worries me about Perrin stuff is, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Perrin as a company nowadays. Perrin used to be like 5-6 years ago. They were awesome with their R&D and everything like that. But nowadays, their customer service. Last time I had to go through their customer service was crap. Like I've told you guys before, one of their headers, their big tube header, when I first bought it, when it first came out, melted my radiator fan, caught it on fire on the dyno. When I brought up the issue to them, they just pretty much said, "Oh, sorry, good luck, you're on your own." I was Perrin. I'm not a huge. You'd be surprised how many people who drive manual that don't know how to heel toe. It's true. It's fun to practice. Go out and practice. Like, even if you're just going to like the gas station, the grocery store, something like that, just go play around with your car a little bit. For the most part, you're not going to be doing anything like crazy dangerous out there. Where'd I go? So Perrin, IAG, Tomei all make the same headers. It comes from the same people, just like the 3-port boost controller solenoids. People buy them, put their name brand on it, so if they are used in good condition, send it. Oh, I didn't know that I thought they all had their own, like, manufactured in-house ones. I'm going to have to look into that, because I didn't know that. If that is true, I didn't know that. Tanner, can you explain as to why an IAG competition series AOS needs a tune? I failed to understand why the car doesn't need one. Can you touch on that? So you have two different series for air oil separators when it comes to IAG. You have the Street Series and you have the Competition Series. The Street Series keeps everything in a closed loop system, so you're not losing any ventilation or you're not losing any ventilation from the crankcase system out to the atmosphere like you would with the the Competition Series. Jesus, huge brain fart on that one. So with the Competition Series, you get a giant dong of a hose, and it just leaks all of the ventilation from the heads out to the atmosphere. And because you're losing all of that air going out to the atmosphere, the car, it recognizes that it's losing air and it'll throw a code. So you have to get it tuned out. Obviously, the car needs to be adjusted a little bit. The tune needs to compensate for the code that's being thrown, so that way they can remove the code. But because it becomes an open system versus a closed system, the car it doesn't recognize it, and it needs to be adjusted properly to account for the open port coming off of the air oil separator versus it just recirculating back into the system. Is 10 sec delay normal? I have no idea. I might have that selected on the stream, but I don't think I do. But I'll look into it after this for the next one. Heel toe isn't practical for day to day, but for like track racing and engine braking to slow the car down. True. It's like, even if you're just, like I said, going out to the grocery store, it's never a bad idea to just go practice a little bit. How goes the battle with the STI? You know, it's a paperweight right now. I'm still waiting on parts to come in. I just placed an order for all of the stuff to rebuild the oil pump, just because you can't buy brand new oil pumps. So when I was talking to my tuner, not the tuner, the engine builder, I kind of asked him, I was like, hey, what do you suggest I do for the oil pump system on the car? He said, just rebuild the oil pump, re-shim it. So we're going to use 2 shims instead of 1, and it should be solid at that point. So honestly, it's just waiting on parts at this point for the STI. COVID has definitely slowed a lot of the production times down with how long it's taking to get stuff. So we're still on standby. Don't move to South Carolina. It's a flat, nasty trash. Oh. I have never been to South Carolina, so if I'm ever out in the area, I will take a look around. Heel toe is a must for Europe beat blasting in the back. Europe beat. I'm gonna have to look up that type of. I'm assuming that's music. I'm gonna have to look that one up. Working like always. I feel it, dude. Come to North Georgia, close to the tail, and have plenty of mountain roads. I was thinking about Georgia. Georgia would be a really cool state to move out to. I've never been on the East Coast before. I've been all around the country before. Farthest east I went was Portland, Maine, and that was just to an airport when I flew overseas. So I mean, I don't really count that though. Affordable snow tire. Blizzaks aren't too bad on price. I've used Blizzaks in the past, and they've done me pretty well. There's definitely some more expensive options out there, but Blizzaks are going to be the first one that come to mind on that. Car... Oh, okay, that one's not to me. Ugh. Ugh. Turbo selection for the new build. Flow goals. Flow goals, I'm not entirely sure. Turbo, I haven't entirely picked out yet. The one I have been looking at is a Precision 70... I want to say it's like a 76 series. I don't know. I have it bookmarked on my laptop. I haven't 100% picked out the turbo quite yet, just because we're a ways down the road from actually ordering the turbo for the car. But I need something that's capable of making 1,200 wheel horsepower, or at least being able to flow that much to feed the air into the engine. But I've been mainly looking at Precision. I want to stay away from Borg Warner a little bit, just because their turbo sizes are a lot bigger, and I'm already going to be cramped for room in that engine bay. With Precision, I can get a slightly smaller turbo in there that makes just as much power as a bigger Borg Warner would. Haven't looked into Garrett at all. It's pretty much just been Precision that I've been looking at. Rotated intake manifold. My fault. Should have been more specific. Gotcha. So benefits to rotating the intake manifold. Obviously, you are losing a lot of the charge piping, so that way you're drastically decreasing how long the air takes to go from the intercooler up into the intake manifold, because all of them wrap up and around. So if you can rotate at 180 degrees, you get a lot cleaner looking engine bay, in my opinion, because you don't have piping going absolutely everywhere. You're decreasing the length that it takes for the air to actually get up in there. I'm sorry, the Russia comments threw me off over there. A little odd, but you're decreasing the length that the air has to go, and you're also you could look at it in a way that it's going to decrease IATs, because you don't have piping going over like other hot things in the engine bay, but that one's negligible. I wouldn't really call that one it, but shorter piping, a lot cleaner of looking engine bay, a little bit better. Zach Block, I'm down. That's not one for me. Just listening to your stream while putting the recirculation tube back on my cousin's WRX. Ooh, that sounds like a blast. That one sounds like a fun one to be putting back in right now. I've always liked those. They're never, no, I'm just joking. They're not fun to put back in. All of them, because I always like go under the intake manifold, all underneath a whole bunch of other stuff. At least that's how they were in the STI. It's just not fun to deal with. But the newer ones, I think the FA20s are a little bit easier. Any suggestions for affordable, good quality front lip for 20WX? Was it J&A? I think it's J&A. Whenever I buy an off-brand lip that is not an OEM one, it's always J&A. Like, the fitment is always quality on them. I've never had an issue with them. We haven't gone there yet. We have to go to another Lowe's. Are you guys, like, struggling to find Christmas lights that bad right now? I thought the other place had them. I reserved a Yaris once, and Enterprise wouldn't give it to me because they didn't want to put anyone in a Yaris. Got a sob. I don't blame you. The Yaris was so boring. It had the cameras in there and everything, and it was the most boring car that I have ever seen. I'm sorry I threw you off. I'm new to your channel. I like your stuff. No worries, dude. No, the comment above that threw me off. The one that said "girls are beautiful here." It was a little bit of a weird comment to throw out there, but welcome to the channel. Whoa, and he won't know for another 10 to 20 minutes. He. Got the Remark Bozo axle back coming in this week. I've seen pictures of that one. I don't think it looks that bad. I'm curious on how they sound though. Matt wants to be clear. We need specific Christmas lights. Okay, so Matt and Melanie are out and about getting some Christmas lights for the house because Matt was putting some up all day. So apparently they're going out for some very specific Christmas lights. What up, my dude? You said giant dong. Giant dong. I did say that. What up, Alex? How you doing, dude? I just saw your comment about the Cali taxes way up there and figured I'd see where you're at. Those taxes are the reason I'm picking up a new car all the way over in Colorado instead of out here. I totally don't blame you. Is that how it works, though? Because here in Washington, at least, if you buy a car in another state, I believe you still have to pay taxes on it here. Because that's how it was when I was in the Army, when I bought my car in Louisiana, I had to pay Washington state taxes on it. I don't know. I don't know if that's how it still works. This was years ago, though. Do you hardwire your fuel pump to the battery or run twin pumps to your setup? So the way that mine is set up right now is I have the Radium dual pump set up in the STI right now. It's already in the car. It's already wired. I have not run the wiring yet to the power source, but the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to have a switch panel up in the front of the car. Both fuel pumps are going to be on independent switches, so that way if I only want one fuel pump on, I can only run one pump. If I want both of them on, I can run both. So the way it's going to work is the power is going to run from the relay in the trunk up to the dash where the switch panel is going to be, and then it'll go from there power to the battery or whatever other source that it's going to. So they will essentially be hardwired to the battery, but they are going to have a switch in between. Hey man, I am planning on doing a headlight retrofit soon. Would another headlight video be possible? I mean, I've done 2 or 3 headlight retrofit videos in the past, but if it's on a set of headlights that I haven't already built, I'm totally open to doing it for you guys, just so you guys have a wider selection. So if you're trying to build a specific set of headlights, I can definitely do it. I'm about to load my new Ambot tuning Stage 2 E-Tune. No fuel upgrades, fingers crossed. Let me know how that goes, Gaio. I like your screen name, by the way. Any good restaurants in Tacoma? I have no idea what to get here. Only been to Famous Day. Oh, Zach! Go to the Melting Pot. If you like fondue, if you like cheese, go to the Melting Pot. They have some really good food. What is the name of the other restaurant? Oh, there's a really good German restaurant out there, too, if you like German food. I don't remember what it is. Just Google, like, German food. It's Rheinhaus. Go to the Rheinhaus. Another really good one. Girl I like lives in Russia. See, there we go. Look at that. We're making connections already, man. Which wheels are you leaning towards? Can't choose. Help me out. Method MR501 or the Method Rally MR503. I don't know. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Method was MR501. What do these look like? What do these look like? Show me the images. Okay, those are like the go-to methods that I see everyone run. Or the 503. I like the 501 better. Personal preference on that one. I like the styling of the 501 a little bit better than the 503s. I hear ya on waiting on parts. Took CSF 6 months to give me my new radiator cooler, rad cooler, oil cooler, I'm guessing, combo to me for rebuilding the oil pump. Power Nation had a cool video on it. They also did a few other things too. Interesting. I might have to go check that out tonight. Yeah, it's just lead times on everything is just extremely, extremely, extremely rough. Picking up a new STI. LOL, gotta get rid of my E46. Ooh, E46 though. Why would you let that go? Yeah, see, AJ's right there with me. E46 is good though. It's not bad. Oh, okay, it's an automatic 166K on it. It's pretty rad for an auto. Matt wants to be clear. Specific Christmas lights. I have a VF48 that I'm going to be rebuilding with port and polished housing and installing it on an 06WX. Which blade count would you recommend? I don't have an answer for you on that one because I've honestly never had to rebuild a turbo and I've never modified an OEM turbo before. I cannot give you a solid answer on that one just because I have absolutely no experience doing that in the past. Naziok will probably be the best place to find that answer on that one though. Nice, Tyler. I got an 05 STI. I love that thing. Ooh. Do I snowboard? I do snowboard. My snowboarding setup is out in the garage. I'd love to be able to get up into the mountains this year, assuming that they're open. Typically, if you guys are up in the Pacific Northwest, you guys are up in Washington or Oregon or Idaho or any of those ones, normally I go up to like Crystal Mountain to go snowboarding. I wasn't able to get up there last year just because of my old job. I was always working all the time, and it was just awful. So hopefully I can get up there this year. Oh my god, I've been spelling Melanie wrong this entire time. I was just going to let you roll with it, AJ. I was just going to let it keep going. That's because you were still registered as a citizen. That is true. I was still registered as a citizen in Washington. I just finished flocking my flocking GTI interior project car. Thanks for your flocking video, my dude. Anytime, man. Flocking is not as bad as people make it out to be. The worst part about flocking anything is always just pulling the dash out of the car. 100% the worst part. 100% the worst part. Not fun pulling dash out of a car. Do I like working on Hondas? I see you're a Subaru guy. I've actually never owned a Honda. I've worked on Hondas a couple times, but for the most part, I've never really dug too far into them. I know they're, like, for the most part, they're pretty simple to work on, but I've never owned one, so I can't really say do I like working on them or not. But if I ever get the opportunity in the future, I'd love to snag an S2000. I know it's the Honda that everyone out there and their mom wants, but I mean, I want one too, so I mean, I guess you can classify me into that with everyone else. Okay, so I have a 2.5 hybrid, an 03 WRX wagon, STI bottom end with 2.0 heads. Burning some oil. Will an AOS help? Yeah, so an AOS will... Oh! Look who it is. If it isn't John again. John, is this the John? John. Look at that. You come in here, you tell everyone to dislike the video, and then you ask a question. I see how it is. Definitely, an AOS will definitely help clean up some of the oil consumption issues that you might be having. Recirculating that air or getting that oil back into an air oil separator to try to circulate it back out so it's not going into the intake trap and being burnt up by the turbo and the exhaust will definitely help clear some of it up. But oil consumption can come from a lot of places. It may necessarily not be just your PCV system. Changing out the PCV valve also might be a good idea if yours is old, crusty, or just looking gross. They're like 15, 20 bucks at Subaru. You can start with that. If that doesn't help, add a catch can or an air oil separator in there. If you just want to see how much oil that your car is potentially consuming, a catch can might be the better option to go, just so you can get a visual aspect of how much oil might be going through the intake track. If it is a lot of it, then you can go back and put an air oil separator on the car if you want, and that should help clean up some of it. But like I said, there are a lot of factors that can cause oil consumption. Rebuild the Impreza headlights. Have you guys ever tried to open the newer Impreza headlights? Because they're awful. They're absolutely awful to try to open up some of the Impreza headlights. Like Melanie's Impreza, those headlights aren't sealed up like a lot of the older headlights are. They don't use butol. They use a different kind of adhesive called Permaseal. Permaseal's awful. You cannot heat up Permaseal to open a headlight. You have to do like a chemical injection into the seal to be able to start breaking it down, and it's just awful. Not doing it. Not doing it. At least here in California, from my research, active duty pays local tax. Then, if it covers resident state taxes, it transfers over. No clue. I don't know. The Army, this was like 5 years ago. Would I run Enki Shoguns? Enki Shoguns. I have no idea. Enki Shoguns? I probably totally spelled that one wrong. I'm guessing I totally spelled that one wrong because that doesn't look like what I was looking at all. Shoguns. Enkei Shoguns. Maybe I totally spelled Enkei wrong. Maybe I didn't. I have no idea. Are these them? Those are them? They remind me of the saw blade wheels off of... No, they don't. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a huge fan. Not a huge fan of them. Not a huge one. They look... I mean, they look okay. They look good on some cars, but I don't think I'd run them on any of my cars. Yeah, honestly, I don't know all the details about being active duty. I just pay mad taxes for Cali, and it's dumb. I don't blame you. Taxes, I mean, I totally understand the point of taxes, but when tax dollars go to, like, the wrong places, that becomes, like, the real frustrating part. What's your board setup? And, have you heard, what's my board setup? Oh, it's like all Burton stuff. I got it on sale when, Sportsman's Warehouse or something like that. There's a store up here that went out of business a couple years ago, and I snagged everything on sale, so I think most of it is Burton. I see you, Tyler. 2020, you mad? I don't even know what that one's about. I'm out in Bellevue. Oh, I'm gonna be up in Bellevue in like 2 or 3 days. What OTS tune should I flash for my SF intake on a Cobb J pipe, or should I get a Pro Tune? May install the MA Performance cab back, maybe next summer. So if you're looking for it, I mean, obviously an EU tune is always going to be a little bit better than an OTS tune, just because the tune is actually specialized for your car and the map revisions are made for your car versus an OTS tune, which is kind of just thrown on there. If you're looking for an OTS map to flash on there, you have a J-pipe and an intake. That's going to be a stage 2 setup. Once you get a cap back, stage 2 plus at that point, and you should be pretty much good to go. But if you do want an E-tune, definitely consider that. Best radar detector. I have no idea. I don't like radar detectors just because they always lie to me. Every time I have a radar detector, it always goes off. LiDAR, LiDAR, and then it's a semi-truck and it's not a cop. And then the one time that I think it is a semi-truck, it's not a semi-truck and it's a cop, and then I get pulled over. So I just kind of risk it every single time I go out and drive, and if I want to speed, I flip the coin. I flip the coin of chance, and if it happens, it happens. Yes! Love the streams! What's going on? I'm trying to trade my 240SX for an FD. Think it's possible. If it's like a quality 240, then yes, I actually do think it's possible. Like, clean title, clean looking 240s that are built right are so hard to come by nowadays. I mean, even just a 240 shell. I saw a 240 shell today go for $3,000. Like, 240s used to be so cheap. I do think it's possible, though. You never know. Hey Tanner, you know how to recalibrate the speedometer on a GDSTI? I have a feeling the new wheels and tires I'm putting on there will throw off the accurate speed. I don't, off the top of my head, no. I'd have to go on Naziok, try to dig up the... I believe there is a recalibration method. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I think you can mess with the wheel speed sensors a little bit to try to recalibrate them, but I don't know how far you can actually go on that one. The new headlights are terrible! I'm right there with you, my dude. They suck to try to modify. What's my opinion on Circuit Demon headlights? Worth it? So when I used to build headlights full time, people would ask me a lot about Circuit Demon. Circuit Demon makes some of the best headlights I have ever seen come out of any shop out there. I do think his prices are justified in the headlights that he builds, because if you look at like a set of headlights that he builds, they're all quality. They all come out awesome. He offers a warranty with all of them. When I used to do it, if I was doing like a dual halo, dual projector setup for someone with like the all-out kit caboodle shebang, that could get anywhere between like $1,600 and $1,800. What Circuit Demon charges is 100% justifiable, only because I've been there before and I totally understand the amount of work and the amount of labor that has to go into those headlights. I do think it's worth it. I honestly do think Circuit Demon headlights are worth it if you're buying a custom set, if you're sending him your set to build. He does awesome work. I'd love to get them in the future. You should definitely consider it. Circuit Demon does awesome stuff. 2.5 hybrid guy here. So it's coming from cylinder 4. It has 175 wet and 135 dry. Would a cylinder 4 cooling mod help? It might help a little bit. The cylinder 4 cooling mod just reroutes coolant in there to help bring down temps a little bit. Get a Dominic Isa, I believe his name is, has the entire like informational documents over on his website. I would definitely take a look at those ones. I did see a small decrease in knock when I installed that on there, just with that in conjunction with the equal length headers. Definitely did help. I would definitely look into it a little bit more. I'll stick with Waze. I like Waze a little bit better because that one is actually people reporting where police are instead of it picking up on signals. Same. I just don't trust them unless you're speeding a lot on a radar. I have trust issues with radar detectors. Should I spend the extra money and get a Cobb Stage 1 intake with access port, or get the access port only? I would definitely get it as the package, because if you are going to be running an OTS tune with the access port, you're going to be wanting to use Cobb's parts. And if you're going to be using it, the intake is built for the map. So yes, I would definitely suggest getting both if you're looking at getting an intake also. I should make a video for heel toe and double clutching. That one primarily would probably have to wait till the STI is done. With having a twin disc clutch in there, it would be a little bit better to show people and teach on that one versus doing it with like the BRZ or something like that. But I will definitely add that one to the list, and in the future we can talk about it. Tell me about it. I want an S13, and the cheapest I saw was a 15K mainland Japan. It's ridiculous. Dude, they're stupid ridiculous. Speaking of which, since we're kind of off the topic, we're talking about like 240s, FDs, and that kind of stuff right now. There will be a new car. Hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, the next like 3 to 4 days, there should be a new car coming to the channel, and it is not a Subaru, so we're mixing things up a little bit. Hence why the title is, what was it? I don't even know why I put the title of the stream. It was like changes are coming or something like that. Something along the sort. So, we are branching out from Subaru a little bit, and it's a car that I think everyone's going to love. It's a car that I've wanted for a very long time. So, don't go to a dealership. I am pursuing multiple options, both private party and dealership, for what I am looking at. They are incredibly hard to find. I have found 2 of them within my budget, one of them being in Oregon, one of them being in Washington. I found multiple in Illinois, a couple in Texas. So we'll see. Hopefully everything goes according to plan. Seems like some of you seem to follow my Instagram. Double clutching is just pushing the clutch in before downshifting. You should run a 15... You should run my 15 SQ5, 700 horsepower. Once the STI is done, I mean, I'd totally be down. I want to take the STI to the drag strip anyways. What did you say about recalibrating the speedometer? Look into the procedure to mess with... I believe you can recalibrate the speed sensors a little bit, which help with the speedometer. Swing over to Naziok. I'm sure people have done it before, and they have like detailed write-ups. I don't have a detailed write-up, unfortunately. If you want an S13, 14, come to PA. They still go for 1 to 5K. That's actually not bad for an S13 or 14. What are the good changes coming? Oh, I did touch on that. I did randomly just touch on that one. So like I said, there is a new car coming to the channel. Assuming everything goes according to plan, tomorrow is going to be the huge deciding factor if everything does go according to plan or not. I'm a little pumped for it. I have no idea if everyone else is going to be, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hey, I got a quote for the water pump and timing belt at a Subaru dealer, $2,300. They sent me to the hospital because I fainted. Yet they ask a ton. They ask an absolute ton for timing belt water pump setups. If you can do it yourself and you feel comfortable doing it yourself, definitely do so. If you've never done a timing belt before, find someone who's done a timing belt, have them walk you through the process on it, because if you mess up timing, you can mess up your entire motor. Nobody wants that. With a stock 16 STI, I got a Cobb access port. Can I run the 91 Stage 1 tune? 16 STI, Stage 1 tune. Typically, you need an intake for the Stage 1 tune. If you're all stock, you're going to want to use the Stage 0 91. So got a Pro Tune 2015 Stage 2 with just an NVIDIA catback. The 280 wheel horsepower, 330 torque. Wondering if these are healthy numbers. Tune feels great. Cheers. Is it a WRX or an STI? I have absolutely no idea. I have no idea what your car is. I'm guessing WRX based off of the 280 330. That's what I'm guessing. But it could also be an STI because you have higher torque than you do wheel horsepower. I don't know. It depends on the car. I have no idea what the car is. It was for my 2013 Subaru WRX. Like I said, if you can find someone who's done a timing belt water pump setup on that car before, definitely have them show you how to do it. If not, I mean, dealerships charge a ton. It sucks. I mean, I have a clean 240SX with 9K miles. 9K miles? You got a 240 with 9K miles? You're holding out on everyone. Hello, AJ. Went to What do you mean went to the dark side? I haven't even gotten anything yet, first of all. Second of all, I have the STI, and the STI will never be going anywhere. Great videos as usual. Smedia just got the catless downpipe, ETS V2 headers equal length, and the Grimspeed up pipe. High temp coating. Glad I don't have to heat wrap. I totally don't blame you. The heat wrap on those up pipes always sketches me out, especially if you get like a leak coming from your valve cover and oil starts like soaking the heat wrap on the up pipe. Definitely an issue for fire later down the road. Ceramic coating is definitely the way to go. Even better, please saying it's an FD. There's 3 different cars that could potentially be coming to the channel. Some of them have been mentioned in this. I'm not going to say which ones and which ones haven't. But there's 3 potential ones that can be coming to the channel. Like I said, it all depends on how it plays out the next like 3 to 4 days. The next 3 to 4 days are going to be the biggest deciding factor on it. For the S209. Oh, it's for the S209. Yeah, you got all sorts of goodies for that car going on. Yeah, no, I got you. No, for the guy, don't go to the dealership. I got spark plug and some other stuff. It was close to 1K. Dealerships charge a ton. They charge so much. To MR or not to MR, that is the question. Alright, how's it going, Tanner? What is so good about the 2015 Plus steering rack? Worth the upgrade. Definitely worth the upgrade. Just changes the steering ratio, essentially, so you get a little better ratio. Typically, people tend to do the 15 Plus steering rack upgrade when their steering racks start to fail. There's not really a point in swapping in the exact same steering rack if you can get a better one that's drop-in fitment for around the same price. So people typically do the 15 Plus ones just because you get a little bit better of a steering ratio compared to the older ones. Because I was saving for a Toma exhaust. Like I said, dealerships, they charge a ton for any type of maintenance. I've got a stock 16 STI and I bought a Cobb access port. Can I run the 91 stage 1 tune, or do I need any engine mods first? Didn't I answer that question? Stage 0. If you're 100% stock, stage 0. MR, anything but the 10. So, I have mentioned it. Nah, I'm going to show that. I don't care. I'm not going to censor anyone in here unless it's like crazy bad. For the people who are, yes, I am looking at an Evo. An Evo is one of the cars that I am looking at getting. I don't know quite which way. There's 3 cars I'm looking at. That is because you guys follow the Instagram. You guys know that I posted up on there not too long ago. That is one of the 3 that I'm looking at. It would not be an Evo 10 if I got an Evo. It would either be an Evo 8 or an Evo 9. But that is to be discussed later. I don't even know if I'm going to be getting that or if I'm going to be getting the other car. There's a couple options here. A couple different options. I'm talking Sylvia S13. I've wanted an S13 hatch for years, but they're stupid expensive and stupid hard to find. Where do you live, city and state? I don't think that one's directed at me. That one is not directed at me. Better be an Evo or a Mazda Speed 6 or don't buy it. You guys will see. You guys will see in like a week or 2. You'll see. I'm excited for it. I'm pumped for it. I hope you guys will be pumped for it. We'll see. Okay. Thanks, Brody. Love the stream. Hey, thanks, dude. Who... Not even going to read that one. Like I said, not going to censor. R32 Skyline. I've already had an R32 Skyline. I don't really want to get another R32. It was a fun car when I had it, but that car, it broke left and right all the time. Parts were expensive to get. They were hard to find. The Nissan dealership in Tacoma near me used to stock some R32 parts, but after having one R32, I don't think I'm going to be getting another one. Gotta be the Yaris. Maybe I just missed that Yaris so much that I was talking about that I hated. Thanks for explaining the AOS thing, Tanner. I was just curious because I'm used to building Hondas. It's my first Subaru. No problem, dude. Anytime. I'm here to answer your guys' questions to the best of my ability. Glad to catch a stream. Is Stage 2 on a 2016 Sti Reliable for a daily. A shop near me is offering a Stage 2 kit, which is free labor as Black Friday deal. Should I buy reliably? I'm not even going to fucking... Like I said, I'm not censoring these. Should I buy reliability is my biggest concern. So on the 2015 Plus STIs, there's an issue with fueling. So you can run a downpipe or you can run an intake with the stock fuel system. You can't run both. When you start to run both, the car starts to run lean, it starts to throw codes, it starts to knock a little bit, your dam's going to drop. So if it's, I don't know what this stage 2 package consists of from this shop. If it's just a downpipe and a tune or an access port or whatever it is, by all means. If it's a downpipe and an intake, you're definitely going to be running into some fueling issues with the car. So just keep that in mind. I don't entirely know what the stage 2 kit that the shop offers is, but just keep it in mind. Tanner, you ran 1050s on the STI and ran out of duty cycle at 400 wheel horsepower, right? I got 1300s and I'm going to be running E85 on a blue. What kind of numbers do you think I can hit? If you had all of the same mods as me and you had ID 1300s instead of ID 1050s, you could probably make 440, 450-ish on E85. The fuel injectors were my biggest problem. My tuner told me ID 1300s will go to 600 wheel horsepower. Totally depends on the setup. I'm talking about the setup that I had. So if you were to emulate my setup with ID 1300s, you would have made like 440, 450-ish. Biggest problem I had was the fuel injectors and the fuel pump, because the fuel pump alone wasn't big enough to continue to supply fuel. So what we did is we bumped up fuel pressure from, I don't even remember what we bumped it up to. We bumped fuel pressure a little bit to emulate having a little bit of a bigger injector, but it just still didn't work out for more than like 401 wheel horsepower. We ran out of fuel. But the 1300s, if you had the exact same setup as me, you could probably do 440, 450-ish before running that turbo out of complete chooch. I want to mod the car, but scared because everything's so expensive and I don't trust mechanics. If someone knows anyone near, if anyone knows him, help him out. Help him out, my dudes. And if I mod WRX, is it worth? Does WRX get what? And if I mod the WRX, is it worth it? Does WRX get looked down on? I mean, you're gonna have people that look down on any car scene in general. It's not just gonna be Subaru. You have people that look down on Nissan, Mazda, Subaru, Toyota. You have people outside of these tight-knit car communities that look down upon each other. It's how the car community's been for like the last 5 years. I remember prior to everyone like hating each other from like car community to car community, people would like go out all the time. They'd socialize. They'd all hang out. Wouldn't matter what they had. I mean, don't get me wrong. There were those people every now and then that people would absolutely hate their cars on. But for the most part, I mean, doesn't matter what car community you're in. You're going to get looked down by someone else in a different car community. It's just how it is, unfortunately. Just don't let it get to you. Don't let it get to you. Could be an Evo. Devin and Batter are stealing them all. They are stealing them all, and they need to stop. Save one. Just want one. Interesting, King Richard. I wonder, since they are pretty big, if idle or other functions wouldn't be as smooth since they're bigger injectors. As long as the injectors are scaled properly, you shouldn't have any issues with idle or anything like that. You should be totally fine. Yes, I had to run only downpipe with stock intake and solve my knock problem. I had the exact same issue with mine. I had the exact same issue with my STI 2 years ago because I didn't know Cobb didn't support the downpipe intake combo like they used to on every other prior chassis. No idea why, but it's just a fueling issue. For some reason, when I talked to Chris, the guy who tuned my STI last time and the time before, he was saying that the 2015 Pluses make more power apparently, so the fueling system just can't keep up. So I have the AEM 320 Flex Fuel Pump. You know when it'll cap out. I don't. I've never used the AEM fuel pumps. I've always used the Deechworks, the 300Cs. They flow at 340 liters per hour. I don't know what the 320 Flex Fuel Pump does. It sounds like it flows at 320 liters per hour. So I don't know. If you send it with that fuel pump on the dyno, let me know though, because I am curious. My 2018 Corolla is just about at 60k miles. I have to burp. Like, talking a lot, you guys get that? We just get like a whole bunch of air. 60k miles out of warranty. Soon I have a 76mm turbo ready to throw in my daily. You know anyone here in Washington that can tune it? I don't know any tuners that would tune it. None that come to mind. The most of them that I know do a lot of Subarus, only because that's like where the majority of like my tuning experience has come from up here. So I don't, but I will keep an eye out if I hear from anyone who can. You get Mel a Miata, didn't you? Mel is still like fully against the Miata. She's fully against the Miata like idea still. Don't know why. She doesn't want it. I'm totally gonna sneak a Miata into her life. Actually, no, because she was talking about the hatchback last time. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I can see Melanie in a different car in like 6-7 months. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Eugene. Happy Thanksgiving, my man. Get ID 1700s if running E85 to make those numbers. Keep duty. Totally depends. Yeah, totally depends on how much horsepower you're trying to make. Also, that'll solidify what injector you end up going with. Like for me on the STI on the EG33, we're going to be doing ID, or we already have them. We have the ID 1300s out there. But for sure, totally happens. Totally happens. I don't even know why I said that. Just make sure your injector duty cycle is below 80%. You should be solid. Tamel, get a cappuccino, even better. A Suzuki cappuccino. I would probably drive that thing more than she would. I'd love a cappuccino. Gotta run to a meeting. Take care. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, AJ. Thanks for swinging by, man. Same for you, Walter. Starting streaming 69 minutes ago. Hey Tanner, have you had any issues with your AOS freezing up in the winter? I am here in Canada and thinking of getting a pairing. So, if you are in like super cold climates, IAG released a statement a couple years ago on their Facebook that if you're in like sub-freezing climates, you do run the risk of having your return line off of your air oil separator freeze due to the moisture that builds up in there. If you're in super cold areas, I highly suggest you guys stick with like a catch can setup. Radium makes a really good setup for a lot of our cars. Looks good, functions well, and you don't have the issue with the potential freezing in the return line. So I would do a catch can setup over an AOS if you're in sub-freezing temperatures for an extended period of time. I almost bought a cappuccino for $3,200. I didn't, and I kind of regret it. I would love a cappuccino. Not the coffee, the Suzuki. Do I really think it's necessary to get an E-Tune just for a Cobb intake and catback if I don't plan to do anything else? If you're just sticking with Cobb parts, you're totally fine to use Cobb's OTS tunes. The issues kind of come from when you're using a Cobb OTS map and you start using parts from other manufacturers. Just because that OTS tune is built off of their parts and their parts for that tune. So when you start going like back and forth crossing parts into tunes, that's when issues come up. But for that setup, you're totally fine sticking with like an OTS tune. You got to do a collab with Batterbuilt or Devin and Spokane. I'm totally down. I'm totally down to it like with everyone. Oh, I met JR from my WX channel a couple days ago. I totally didn't even have my camera with me, so I didn't even shoot a video on it, but I met him. Super chill dude. JR super chill over at my WX channel. So hopefully him and I can get something going here in the next couple of weeks. We were talking about it a little bit, but super cool dude. Super cool dude. Met him up at the Mod Garage like 3 or 4 days ago. My buddy has a cappuccino. The motor caught fire a while ago, but he's almost done building a new one. Ooh, my buddy, I have a friend in Japan who has a cappuccino. Fun cars, fun looking little cars. Com Series AOS V3 Vent to Atmosphere, aka the Road. You do need a tune for that one. You can definitely get the Vent to Atmosphere one as long as you have the appropriate tune for it. Is there any benefits to running a catback on an external wastegate setup other than muffle smell? I mean, when you start to open up the exhaust a little bit from what Subaru stock is like 2-inch up to like a 3-inch or something like that, you do get better exhaust flow going out of there. It doesn't make a huge impact on how the car performs. Mainly it is for sound, but once you start getting up to like bigger power numbers, and obviously you're going to want a more free-flowing exhaust. So it's definitely something to keep in mind if you do want to make more power, but for the most part you can get away with using like the OEM STI exhaust if you wanted to. Gives a little bit of sound and it's not too bad. Collab with Dustin Williams and his W. No. After the EG33 build is done, of course. I don't even know, like, I plan on doing a lot with the EG33 and the STI when it's done. There's a motorsport track up here called The Ridge. The car's like, the STI is getting like purpose built for time attack, drag racing, daily driving, anything that I want. It's going to be a pretty universal car with multiple tunes on it. It'll be fun. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing with that car, but it's going to be fun. Hey Tanner, I'm stuck between looking at getting an NVIDIA R400 versus the Q300, not looking at crazy loud like the N1. If you're not looking for something crazy loud like the N1, the R400 is definitely louder than the Q300. Q300 is a lot quieter though than you might actually think it is, but both of them are good options. If you want one that's quieter, Q300. If you want one that's a little bit louder, R400. Once you like really start getting up to the RPM band, you really start hammering on the car a little bit. It does get a little bit louder with the R400 versus the Q300, but both of them are very good options. Also, why is it easier to run a blow-off valve on speed density? Blow-off valve with speed density. Speed density, so it uses the manifold absolute pressure versus using a MAF sensor. It's taking a whole bunch of calculations off a predetermined air that's going into the manifold and doing it that way versus metering the air that's passing over the mass airflow sensor. So it doesn't matter if you vent that air out to the atmosphere because it hasn't gone into the intake manifold, so it hasn't gone through the calculations that the ECU has run. So that's kind of like the quick breakdown of it. There's a lot that goes into speed density, though. What do you recommend for a reliable build on an 18WX? It kind of depends on what you want for power, but typically intake J-pipe, charge pipe, access port should be pretty fine with that. Do I need a tune for an AOS? Also, what AOS would you recommend for a daily driver? 16 STI. If you're somewhere where it doesn't get like crazy cold, IAG Street Series is always a good one for just daily driving. Oh, Melanie, mission accomplished. We got the lights. They got the Christmas lights. Did you get the popcorn chip things? I'm curious about those. But for a daily driver, IAG Street Series is going to be your best bang for your buck on that one. I got a few parts for my 13WX hatch today. IAG AOS, Dom Cylinder 4 cooling mod, Killer Bee pan kit, Koyo rad, and short shifter bushings to come. Not looking forward to the oil pan. The oil pan is absolutely awful. Set aside an entire day for just the oil pan if you plan on doing it with the motor in the car. It's awful. It's absolutely awful to do. IAG, Josh, I got the V2. Yep. Dude, if you want to collab with me, dude, if you want to collab with someone, collab with Matt from Demolition Ranch and shoot. I'd totally be down for that. Okay, you can kind of see my AR back there. I'd totally be down. I love going shooting. That's fun. It's always fun to do. Ammo's like stupid expensive right now, though. What is the best opinion on tuning through the map sensor? What do you mean by that? What is your opinion on tuning through the map sensor? Typically, you don't really need to go to a speed density tune unless you're like really making like big power. The MAF can get you by, or a hybrid setup where it goes off of the MAF and the map sensor will get you by for the majority of the time. So there's not a huge need to jump over to a speed density setup or running only off of map unless you're like really wanting to, but you're not going to see any gains from doing it. ETS equal length versus Killer Bee equal length. So I actually saw someone do a test on these ones. ETS equal length made a little bit more power than the Killer Bee equal length. I believe it was PRE Racing down in Vancouver. I think they're in Vancouver. That did the test a while ago. If you want to swing over to their Facebook page, I think it's on their Facebook still when they ran the tests. But both of them are very good headers. Just kind of depends on what you want out of it. Opinions on Crawford V3 AOS for 14WX. I used to run the Crawford V3. No issues with it. It's a very good alternative to IAG if you're wanting something a little bit different. Can't go wrong with Crawford. Demonetized. I'm kicking it with you guys tonight. I'm not trying to make money right now. Are your goal horsepower wise 1,000 for the EG33? Yes. So at minimum, I want to make 1,000 horsepower with the EG33 on the kill tune. So it's going to be broken down into 3 tunes when it's finally done. First tune will probably be around like 550, 600 wheel horsepower. The mid tune will probably be around like 800 to 850, and then the kill tune will be like full chooch, 1,000 wheel horsepower. The long block is built for 1,200 horsepower, so it should handle the power no problem, just fine. We have enough cushion room right there where we're not going to be pushing the bounds too much, so we should totally be solid on it. Is it going to be expensive to maintain an 18-year-old WX? Shouldn't be. I mean, it's a new enough car. You shouldn't have anything major. The biggest thing that you got to stay on top of is like walnut blast every 30,000 miles on the valves just to clean the carbon buildup off. I just got an STI and found this channel. I love it, man. Keep it up. Hey, congrats on the car, Mark. Appreciate the support also, my man. Beretta 92 FS and Glock 21C. Please don't tell me it's a DD or Anderson or PSA build. No, it's not. I built that all myself with most of the stuff is Aerotech. I believe it's all like Aerotech on there. PRE is in Portland. Okay, yeah. And it was Eric from his YouTube that did that. Thank you. See, Joe knows what I'm talking about with those headers. For real, go check out their stuff. They do a lot of really good stuff. Eric down at PRE is going to be the one tuning the EG33 when it's done also. So they do a lot of cool stuff down there. I just got the ETS equal length header. Super beefy. Almost looks slightly unequal, honestly. Maybe why they say the ETS keeps some rumble. Maybe. I haven't heard the ETS headers in person yet. I've seen videos on them. They seem like super quality headers. The only reason that I got Killer B for the STI is just because I didn't need the whole top end that the ETS headers provide, and I believe the Killer B ones were a little bit cheaper when I bought them. DJ, what's going on, dude? Yo, bro, dropping in, smashing that like. I love your work. Hey, always appreciate it, man. 2 people rioted on the dislike button. Yo, what? Where is he? Where's the dude? Someone rioted on that dislike button and then asked me a question. Didn't kick him out, still answered his question. I like to always forget to. Always appreciate the support, guys. Wyatt, what's going on, dude? How you doing, man? Why did you say you regret not getting a fuel pulse dampener? It's just extra cheap insurance on the fuel system. It's not 100% needed, but it's nice to know they're there. I mean, for $100 too, it doesn't hurt to throw them on there. Would I recommend an EK swap for 2020 STI? I'm totally down for it. If you do it, let me know, because it's something different. I always like builds that are different. I love doing things that are different outside of the box a little bit more. So if you do it, let me know. What are my thoughts on the Perrin AOS? Never mentioned that one. Personally, not a huge fan of it. I'm not a huge fan of Perrin's newer products. They just seem a little bit like they're cheaping out in some areas, like with their front mount intercoolers. I installed one of their front mounts on someone's car not too long ago, and an AOS of theirs. Couplers, hoses, like all of the stuff that makes the kit, it seemed low quality to me. Not a huge fan of it. If I were to get an air oil separator, it would be Crawford, Radium, or IAG. Or Killer B. Killer B has a pretty good one, too. It's not the prettiest looking, I'll say that, but it works. Oof, calling them out. I don't... Aren't fuel pulse dampeners in STI's stock? They are, but they are. They're in the fuel lines, but I swapped fuel rails and fuel lines, and I didn't end up running fuel pulse dampeners, so I wish I would have. It's cheap insurance. I didn't need them, but it's nice to have them. People have anger issues, and they take it out on everyone. That's what I'm saying. There's always, 1 or 2 people, as soon as a video uploads and goes live, within, the first, 5 minutes of it being uploaded, so, people go through and, dislike things. I'm like, it is what it is. This man still has merch for sale. We should buy it. Oh, thanks for reminding me, by the way. Yeah, all merch on the website is for sale right now if anyone does want to snag anything. I'll put the website right there. If you guys do want to snag anything, everything on the website is on sale right now for Black Friday. I wanted to do it early so that way people aren't distracted on Thanksgiving or anything like that, taking people away from their families or whatnot. So if you guys do want to snag anything, everything on the website is on sale right now. I've already discounted it all for you guys. You don't have to go and put in a discount code or anything like that. It is all already there. Thank you for the reminder, my friend. My WX channel just took his parent front mount off for an ETS one, if that tells you anything. I know, that's the day that I met JR over at my WX channel. It was the day that he picked up that ETS front mount. Saw it in the trunk of his car. Super cool, dude. Super cool. How comfy are the Drive hoodies? I ordered one a while ago. Just haven't been home to wear it. They're awesome. Those hoodies are absolutely my favorite hoodies. Every hoodie that we do going forward on the channel for merchandise stuff, it's going to be that brand of hoodie with just different designs on it. I keep spinning around and the chair is just totally all over the place. But the Drive hoodies, they're awesome. I absolutely love those hoodies. They're the majority of the ones that I wear. I'd be wearing it right now, but I was crawling under Melanie's car yesterday doing that fog light stuff, and it's absolutely filthy right now, so I have the old OG, first gen ones that I made. What about Grimspeed AOS? Grimspeed AOS belongs in the trash can. So here's the thing with companies. I don't try to specifically bash on companies or hate on companies or anything like that. A lot of companies have really good products. A lot of companies have really bad products also. Grimspeed's AOS, it's just not a good air oil separator. Matt used to have one on his Outback. If you go way back to some of the older videos, you can see that we pulled it off for a reason. That air oil separator put a puddle. It was a huge puddle of oil in the intake track, and it just was not doing its job. I've never seen a good Grimspeed air oil separator function as it should, but I wouldn't suggest Grimspeed on that one. Do I run any chassis bracing on my STI, and are they worth it? 100% chassis bracing is always my go-to for any type of stiffening up. Sway bars chassis bracing, always my go-to. I have a lot of the JDM chassis bracing on the STI right now, just because I like how the JDM stuff looks, and it's super high quality, fitment, all that stuff. It's awesome. JDM is the way to go. If not, Cusco, Beat Rush, all these other ones out there, solid ones. See, I love my hoodies. I highly recommend the hoodies. They're good hoodies. Military discount. I don't have any military discount stuff, only because it's veteran owned. But, I don't know. I might add that as like a function on the website. Everything's on sale right now on the website. How much deals are you trying to get? I totally feel it, though. Just picked up a 17 WRX. What is the loudest quad tip catback exhaust? ETS Extreme, no mufflers, unresonated, gonna be the loudest one. That is a quad tip. My friend, Kevin, what is going on, my friend? Is it true that the WRX and STI come from the factory with wideband, or is it aftermarket only? That is aftermarket only. To be honest, I like catch cans more than AOSs for some reason. I don't blame you. I mean, even with the oil that goes back into the system, you do get a little bit of contamination in there from moisture buildup. So just catching everything in a catch can, you're not getting like somewhat like mushy, gross, moistury oil in there. Ordering myself a jet tag right now. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Anyone who places orders, I'll pack and ship them out to you guys. I write like little nice, fun hand notes on all the packages. They all ship out from in here too, which is always fun. Does putting a rear strut brace stop the clunk sound on the older STIs? What rear clunk sound are you having? I never had a rear clunk sound on like my 06 and 07 STIs before. I mean, it might help, but I don't know what clunk sound you're referring to on that one. I completely agree with your opinions on new BRZ. I don't understand the hate. The biggest complaint about the car is that it doesn't have a turbo. I mean, I'd be fine with it, even if they wanted to keep, like, I mean, they did keep the BRZ naturally aspirated, but if they wanted to, like, stay with the naturally aspirated theme, I think a really good bump for that car would have been, like, a flat 6, and then just redistribute weight a little bit. It's just, I don't know, I see missed opportunities. I always get one who intentionally hits the thumb down button. Hey, if people aren't hating on your stuff, man, you're doing something wrong. Good weight to the hoodie, like a nice blanket. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They're solid hoodies. They actually are really solid hoodies. When I sourced those hoodies to get them made, I found like the highest quality like hoodie itself that I could find. They were not cheap. I can tell you that much right now. But they're well worth the money in my opinion. Is it possible to go slammed on a WRX with stock wheels? You can slam anything on stock wheels, 100%. Exactly. Thank you. That's why I subbed you. That's what I'm saying. I'm almost out of coffee. Amazon is like taking forever with my new coffee too. Good quality exhaust system for not that loud and has decent horsepower gains. I mean, you're not really going to get any horsepower gains out of a catback exhaust, but if you want one that's not decently loud and good quality, the NVIDIA R400 is a good way to go. The Cobb one is also a good way to go, but that one is kind of expensive. Thoughts on Avid 1 AV20s for the price, style, and performance? I don't know how much each wheel individually weighs. I do like the styling of a lot of the Avid wheels, though. Personally, the AV20s don't ring a bell, but we can totally take a look. Avid AV20. I like those. They ain't bad-looking wheels. They're not. Is that for a set? $652 for a set? That's actually not bad for an entire set of wheels either. Yeah, I like them. I like the Avids. I don't know how much they actually weigh per wheel, but they're good-looking wheels. Tanner, when you get a chance, can you check out my first-gen 1986 CRX built K20, K24 all-motor on Instagram? For sure, dude. For sure, send it over. My buddy Brody knows a lot more about Hondas than me, so I've learned a little bit from him about Hondas, but I'll definitely check it out. 2020 BRZ, what's your thoughts, brother? 2020 BRZ is the exact same as the 2019 BRZ. I think you're referring to the 2022, which I have a very unpopular and very popular video on that one. They can be taken either way. No, Grimspeed AOS, very bad design. Don't do it, it's really bad. It is. It's not a good AOS. Grimspeed does not have it. Like, Grimspeed makes a lot of good products. Their AOS is just not one of them. Perrin doesn't seem to be that good. Perrin's, I'm not a huge fan of Perrin stuff. I touched on that one earlier. Perrin or IAG. I'd say IAG, Crawford, or Radium. Personal preference on those ones only because I've used them before. Nothing beats my old schools. I remember like the very first like time that it was all through Teespring. I never liked Teespring. Teespring's hit or miss with a lot of the stuff they did. Sometimes they sent me prints that were like upside down, and that at that point I was like, we're doing everything here. But yeah, the OG shirts, they're out there. There's a couple of them out there floating around. Who is that behind me? It's actually a tiny dog. It's a tiny dog behind me. It's a tiny dog. He's just chilling. He was taking a nap. He was just chilling, kicking it. Now he's woken up and he looks annoyed. Here, I'll put you back. I'll put you back, dude. I'm sorry. IAG all over. IAG, yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Diode Dynamics SL1 are low beams and SLF are fog lights. I've been told two different things. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I'd have to look at their website and verify. I know Diode Dynamics just did a recall on a lot of their lights because the Federal Motor Commission or something like that said that their lights were not street legal and people were using them in street legal applications. So, unfortunately, they did a huge recall on some of them. Which they're offering people halogen headlights. If I spend $120 on your LED low beams and your recall solution is to give me a pair of halogen headlights, no thanks. Piston delete. I already did it. Way ahead of you, my friend. Man, no BS. Loving these late night streams. That's what I'm saying. We're just kicking it. Is that an AR over in the corner by the hoodies? That is my AR chilling in the corner over by the hoodies. That is my AR. I'm flying up there for work I'm flying up there for work for a week, starting next Monday. Fixing to meet JR up there, hoping to get a chance to meet you. How about TMGB? Yeah, for real. Joe, if you swing up to TMG, shoot me a DM on Instagram or something like that. I'll swing up there and I'll meet you guys up there. We can definitely kick it up there. I'll talk with Brian and I'm sure we can get something worked out, but I'm totally down, man. Don't know what to ask. Kevin, you can ask me anything. You can ask me a weird question if you want to. It doesn't even have to be car related. You can ask me the weirdest thing that comes to mind. I may or may not answer it. Why does the FA20 suck? I don't think the FA20 sucks. FA20 is a very efficient motor. Definitely does a lot better in... You can make power with the FA a lot easier. All motors have their drawbacks, though. I don't think the FA sucks, though. Do you follow or invest in Bitcoin? I don't, but Matt does, and I hear Matt complain about Bitcoin all the time because it seems like every time he pulls out of, like, what was it, Tron or something? I don't know what he invests in, but every time he seems to pull out, it seems to go up. He has this weird theory that he controls the market, which I actually am starting to believe now because every time, like, he does something, the opposite thing happens, but I don't. Clunk sound, like the exhaust hitting the diff? Question mark? If it is, you could try replacing exhaust bushings. That might help. They might be a little bit spongy and just very moving. I'm seeing a lot of the forums that people are putting 5 quarts versus the 4.5 recommended in the Subaru. What do you do and why? Well, whenever it comes to mine, I just kind of calculate out how much I need to put in there. I'll obviously pour the oil in if it's 4.5. If it's like the STI before I pulled everything out, that car took 9.2. No, the BRZ takes 9 quarts of oil. The STI took like 7.5. So I'll add it up to the point where I know that's the known full point. I'll start the car. I'll let it run for like 20 minutes just to get like oil fully up to temp, fully circulating through all of the oil passages in the motor. I'll turn it off. I'll let it sit for like a half hour, let all the oil drain back down. Check the oil, see what it is at. If I have to add more, I'll add more. If I don't, then it's good. Yo, sup? What up, J-Rob? I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving. I read that as like past tense. Any plans? Have you ever get rev checked by V8s, a-holes? No, for the most part I don't. There's not really a lot of them up here, and they kind of just like do their own thing. But no big Thanksgiving plans either. We're just gonna be kind of kicking it here. I'll probably be working. I'll probably either be editing or shooting some video. Who knows? If you have a rear clunk, you have worn bushings or something else. That was my thing. I have a loud ass rattle near me on my 16 STI. Is that normal? No. Typically, loud rattles are not normal for the most part. Thoughts on tuning the Outback XT? No Cobb yet. The new Outback XT with the FA24 in it. Definitely interested to see what it'll do. As for tuning Outbacks, 100%. Matt has an Outback. I love Outbacks. Outbacks are awesome cars. Apparently, older STI strut tower can flex a bit, making clunk sounds. I read it once on a forum, and mine does it sometimes. So the thought occurred maybe putting a strut brace would help stop it. It's very possible. It could definitely help. I know a lot of the like GRs, some of the older GRs have the issue with the firewall cracking, which can create that like awful like squeaking noise. It's terrible to listen to. Tanner, what kind of coffee are you sipping on? Dunkin' Donuts, because we don't actually have Dunkin' Donuts up here in the Northwest, and I love Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts K-Cups. Can't go wrong with some Dunkin' Donuts. And don't even ask. I hate Starbucks. Don't even ask. I don't like Starbucks. My WRX started to make a noise when I don't have my feet on the clutch. I can press the clutch even... if I press the clutch even a little, the noise stops. As soon as I let off the clutch, noise comes back. Any idea what it could be? Could be throwout bearing. Depending on what year WRX you have, it could also be other things. But the first thing that comes to my mind is throwout bearing. As soon as you start to let off of it, on or off, it could just be making a weird noise. But throwout bearing is my first thought. As for John thinks the same thing. And Carson, everyone's thinking throwout bearing. Thoughts on the Touran TF03 Bronze? I don't even know what those wheels are, but we'll swing back through those ones here in a little bit. Maybe maybe we should just make a night of googling wheels. Tiny dog, dude, he was so mad. He's like passed out next to me. He like likes to sleep on this heating pad that Melanie has, and he's like always crashed on it, and whenever we pull him off of the heating pad, he gets angry. A lot of different stuff. I'm gonna check that. Thanks, guys. I got upgraded transmission, engine, and diff mounts. Unsure what it could be. I mean, obviously you're gonna dog's face. Obviously, I mean, with stiffer mounts and bushings in the car, you're gonna get a lot more NVH, that noise, vibration, harshness. A lot of it's gonna be transferring back up into the car with you. So it could just be that, and it could be taking a little bit of time to get used to, or it could be also a loose mount somewhere. Maybe you didn't torque something down all the way, or maybe the shop didn't torque it down if you had someone else do it. It's happened to me before. I have not fully tightened down or torqued down my drive shaft before, and the carrier bearing right in the middle started to sink down, and it was just making the worst slapping noise I've ever heard. Happens. Sometimes it happens. Cobb or Grimspeed intake? Cobb. What's a good catback for my 04 WRX? NVIDIA N1 has always been my go-to for the GD models. FA20s are more sensitive for sure. I mean, it depends on how you build them and what's all done to them and what you're doing with them. How do I find out what bolt pattern do I get for an up-pipe external wastegate kit? 2-bolt or 3-bolt? 2015 STI. It depends on the header that you're getting. If your header's 2-bolt, obviously you want an up-pipe that's 2-bolt. If you buy a header that's 3-bolt, then obviously you want one that's 3-bolt. So you just got to match whatever your header is, and you should be pretty solid there. Weird question, huh? Pros and cons to the FA20. I don't really consider that a weird question. I mean, pros, it's very efficient. It gets better gas mileage. They make power easier. Cons, they have weak connecting rods. I mean, if you really want to put it as a con, no Subaru Rumble from unequal length headers. Come on, that wasn't a weird question. The rods are much weaker on the FA20s. Yes, they are. Only when you start, because they're higher compression, when you start turning up the boost, you start getting a lot more boost. You really start to increase cylinder pressure, puts a lot more pressure on the piston, which then transfers down to the rod. Sometimes the rods like to bend, and no one wants that. What do I prefer, the FA or the EJ? I like the EJ better just because I've had a lot more time with the EJ than I have with the FA platform. I mean, I've been playing with EJs since 2011. Long time. Long time! I love EJs. Diode Dynamics C-Light or Morimoto? Diode Dynamics, if you have Morimoto C-Lights, I hate them. They fail all the time. Every single set of Morimoto C-Lights I've installed on someone's car have failed. And I always have to go back and swap them out for Diode Dynamic ones. Ever since I had that happen, always Diode Dynamics. I recently got an 07 STI and I'm looking for some upgrades. I can do that or not breaking my bank and easy to install. I have an IAG AOS, Mishimoto radiator, and Cobb intake. Any suggestions? Bushings and mounts, especially with an 07 STI. Everything is, what, 13 years old inside of that car. I would go through there, start swapping out bushings, mounts. They're cheap. They're not too bad to install, and they give you a pretty good difference in the feedback from the car. For premium trim, Diode Dynamics. You know who Steve tuned is, Tanner? If so, why don't you have him tune the STI and BRZ? Just curious, Steve is going to E-tune the STI for me when I go FP green here shortly. So I have no idea. I have no idea where Steve... I saw like 2 of his YouTube videos because they popped up on my feed. I've never heard of him before. I didn't know what shop he came from or what shop he currently works at. Whenever it comes to me picking a tuner, I'm very picky on my tuners. Chris down at Surgeline, I've been working with him for years now, and he's tuned multiple cars of mine. PRE is going to be tuning the EG33 just because they have the most experience with a flat 6 and a Haltech Elite 2500. It's just, I've never heard of Steve before like a month ago because one of his videos popped up on my feed. But I don't know. It seems like he does good stuff though, so I might consider him in the future for other projects. But for the most part, PRE is 100% going to be doing the tune on the EG33 STI. I've already talked to them on the phone. They're extremely confident they can do it. A lot of shops that I've talked to don't want anything to do with tuning that car because it is extremely different from out of the norm stuff that they get. So we'll see what happens. But no, I've never heard of Steve before like a month ago. I got a 5 manual transmission 14 WRX with stage 2 block and upgraded turbo and clutch. What's a reliable and cost-effective trans upgrade to handle the power? More blast plates or key-in blast plates. So essentially they bolt the transmission together. They give it a lot more strength and rigidity so it can hold more power. It's not going to hold nearly as much as an STI transmission would, but it will make your 5 manual transmission a lot stronger than what it is from the factory. So more blast plates or key-in. Key-in's out of Russia. I think more is out of somewhere on the East Coast. Hey man, I love your ish. Take care and be safe. Have a good night, J-Rob. I'm assuming you're leaving based off of that comment. But have a good night, man. Is YouTube your full-time job or do you do this on the side? YouTube is my full-time job. So prior to doing YouTube, I used to be a product manager at a biochemical engineering company. I just wasn't happy working in a cubicle every single day. So I sold my house. I rearranged funds. I got rid of things that I just didn't need anymore. And then I started renting this place out. So I sacrificed a lot to be able to do this full time, but I am more than happy doing this full time, and I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. I mean, the channel's small. It's not a big YouTube channel by any means, but I enjoy doing it, and that's what matters the most to me. I can still live life. I can still modify cars. So I'm here. Steve is the man. So I will have to look more into Steve. What do you use to keep your face clean? Shampoo. Whenever I wash my hair, I just bring all the shampoo down. That's D-fat coffee. Ugh. That was the nastiest coffee I've ever had. Cobb SF intake absolutely sounds amazing. Trust me, Tanner will tell you. Have a video on channel, sounds awesome. Cobb SF is always my go-to for like short ram intakes with a box. I had to drill and bolt my firewall spot welds. See, that's what I'm saying. The firewall spot welds crack. I believe they did a, it's not a recall, but a CSB, something like that, for the cracking firewalls. I have no idea if they're still honoring those or not, but hopefully they are. A super minor inconvenience, but what's your view on the new STIs not coming from the factory with fog lights? I mean, that's just a styling preference that some people like, some people don't. I love fog lights. I kind of wish it doesn't fit the styling nowadays, but I do miss when Subaru did the gigantic fog lights on the 2002, 2003 WRX. But I don't know. I miss the fog lights. I like fog lights. I'm just getting started on YouTube, so don't judge me. Dude, no judgment at all. I encourage everyone to make videos if they want to make videos. You bet. Where did that just go? I just lost it. Did it just jump? Where did the creamer comment just go? Oh, you better be putting a shit ton of creamer in your Dunkin' coffee. I love Dunkin' Donuts coffee. It's solid coffee. Yeah, I don't like Starbucks either. Starbucks just isn't good coffee. It's not good coffee at all. So weird for me to talk to a camera. Yeah, it's really weird at first to talk to a camera. You get used to it though. Like if you go back way to like the early videos, I had no idea how to edit things properly. I had no idea how to talk to a camera. I always did this thing where I'd look at the screen and look at myself talking versus then looking at the lens. You'll pick up on it. I mean, anyone who, like any of you guys, if you guys are considering making videos, I definitely suggest everyone do it. Even if you're just doing it for fun. Like that's how it started for me, is I was just doing it for fun, and I still just do it for fun because I enjoy doing it, but it takes some getting used to walk around and talk to a camera. It's just weird. It's weird at first. It's still weird sometimes. Who deleted their dislike and liked the stream? I don't know, but I'm down for it. Also, who else disliked the stream? No idea. That's what I'm saying, man. What was my MOS? I was a 15 whiskey. I was a UAS operator. So when I was in the Army, I flew drones. I was also like a part-time crew chief, so I'd help launch the aircraft, work on them here and there. But it was all aviation and military intelligence when I was in the Army. Is that John guy who said everyone disliked? I don't know if John took back his dislike and liked it. I don't know. Someone said that someone did. Can you just upgrade the connecting rods? We're doing an idiot. I mean, if you're going in there and you're replacing connecting rods, you might as well swap everything out. If you're already opening up the block, you're already opening up the case halves, you might as well start swapping other things out. Do it once, do it right. Don't go back and have to do it multiple times. Then it just gets expensive and just... At the shampoo comment. For real. I'm not the only one who washes my face with shampoo when they're in the shower. Everyone does it. Everyone pees in the shower, too. If anyone says they don't pee in the shower, they're a liar. Everyone pees in the shower. Solid engine mounts for a car that will see some track time, but will also be good on the street. What brand? Ooh. I believe IAG has a competition series that are pretty good for that. Perrin's engine mounts aren't all that bad, but I saw someone like had a set that failed on them, so I don't know if I'd go that route. I'd probably stick with IAG on the mounts for that one. Tanner out here scaring all the tuners. Why am I scaring tuners? What am I saying about tuners? What am I saying bad about tuners? Oh, with the EG33, yeah. No one wanted to touch the EG33 whenever I talk to him. I'm stage 2 50/50 hybrid blow-off valve Cobb, big SF intake, NVIDIA catted Nordstrom J-pipe, NVIDIA R400, and will soon E-tune with M-tuning. Is that a solid setup? Sounds like a solid setup. Sounds like it'll be a fun car when it's all done. Follow up with after how the tune goes, Kevin. I'm very curious. I'm always curious to see how the tunes go whenever people are done with them. And if you guys ever go on like a dyno or something like that, feel free to send over dyno videos, because I love looking at some dyno videos. I have a 20WX Premium. I'm looking to get the C-Light as a DRL. I don't have the tools to install the Diode Dynamic C-Lights. I was looking to get it installed at the shop. They want to charge me $850 for labor. You know how much I charge to do a C-Light install? $220 bucks. $220 bucks. $850 for labor is absolutely ridiculous. The only tools that you need to be able to install those Diode Dynamic C-Lights is an oven, some flathead screwdrivers, some wire crimps, and you're pretty, and a Phillips head screwdriver, and you're solid. That's all you really need, to be honest. Do I have any opinions on the Remark catback exhaust? Sounds good. For the price, it's actually not a bad catback. I know a lot of people who run the Remarks, and they actually sound pretty good. They look pretty good, too. Stupid expensive. That is stupid expensive. I would not pay $850 to have someone install C-Lights for me. Outrageous. Rear is also gutted. That goes back up to the engine mount question. Whoa, stream jump. Oh my goodness, where did it just go? Where did it just go? Right there. What brand of intake would you prefer on a 2018 WRX, and what do you think of the MA Performance intake? If you're going to be using the MA Performance intake, you need to use their OTS tune. If you're going to be using the Cobb intake, which I suggest, just because their tune comes on the access port, then obviously Cobb. Whatever OTS tune you're going to be using, match the tune with the parts that you're going to be using. At what horsepower should I consider getting more blast plates? Honestly, when you start to reach like 320, 330 wheel horsepower on a 5 manual transmission, get blast plates. But you're in a 2018 WRX. No, that was the question above. 07 WRX blast plates. Like 320, 330 wheel horsepower is when I would start to get them. The guy who built and tuned the STI brought is 9 hours drive away, so it looks like a road trip for me. That always sounds fun. The road trips are fun. That's awesome to hear. I've been wanting to start my own channel. I just never pulled the trigger and started to record stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, when I started making videos, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I didn't know what videos I was going to make. I still don't know what videos I'm going to make sometimes. I just go out and make a video. But just get in front of a camera, get used to it, get comfortable with it. Even if you're not going to edit, I suggest you upload all the videos that you edit. Because, like, the feedback, I would always ask for people, like, feedback, like how can I make the video better to watch, because at first they were awful and I didn't know what I was doing. So getting people's feedback on like how you're editing videos is always nice to have. But like I said, if you guys are considering making videos, just jump up in front of a camera, shoot something, edit it, throw it up on YouTube. And also, don't get discouraged either. Don't get discouraged if you guys are trying to make videos. It took like Smedia took 6 months to get to 250 subscribers, and then that's when it started taking off a little bit. So, I mean, just as long as you're enjoying making the videos and you're having fun with it, that's all that really matters. Sometimes when I reverse something clunks, depending on how much my wheel is turned, I don't know what it could be. Initially, I would think that it would be splash guard. If your wheel's turning and it's clunking on something, it might be your splash guard, kind of like flipping around with the wheel. Happened on my old 06 STI. All I did was fix the splash guard, and it was good to go. TSB, thank you. Oh, I was having a brain fart on that one. They might still have that TSB. I miss fog lights. I'm not a fan of not having them on the 18. I like fog lights, personal preference on that one. Some people don't like fog lights and they would delete them anyways. I'm just glad that they still have an option. If you want to run fog lights on your car, you can. Yeah, it's not really the styling for me, but driving the snow fog with them, true, it's also good. Fog lights are good for fog, obviously. How long do 2013 stock WRX last? As long as you take care of it, it'll last you forever. 2 miles. 50,000 miles. Is it worth to put a new sway bar in my 04 WRX? If you're looking for like better spirited driving, you want to take it out to the track, a thicker rear sway bar is always going to be good to do. It's also going to help correct some of the understeer that the car will have. When you have a bigger rear sway bar as opposed to a bigger front sway bar, it'll correct a little bit of the understeer and it's not nearly as bad as what it used to be. Definitely my favorite YouTube now. That's what I'm saying. I come here to kick it with you guys. I love hanging out with you guys doing this kind of stuff. Live streams are my fave. Until the stream chat box jumps and I lose where I'm at. Counterintuitive, I only use conditioner on my hair and beard. Keeps my hair clean and makes it look less greasy. I have like this weird beard shampoo that someone gifted me. It works. It smells nice. I've heard mixed reviews from different shops about blast plates. Have you used them personally? I had them on my old 02 WRX. I had no issues with them. I don't know why anyone would be against the blast plates. I haven't heard anything negative against them. They bolt up pretty easily. They're not bad to install. I've never seen anything negative come from them before. Everyone's on board with the sway bars. It has 84,000. I'm running 5W40 now. There's nothing wrong with that. I run 5W40. Put a Tomei Extreme on the EG33. We're using the ETS Extreme on the EG33. That's the exact same catback that was on it before that we're still going to be using. I don't hate the Tomei. I just don't like how big the muffler is. That's the only thing I don't like about the Tomei exhaust is just the muffler size. It's huge. Bro, I'm doing coilover sway bars, front lower control arms, rear lower control arms, toe arms, roll center kit, etc. this weekend. 5K in suspension. I'm so stoked. Nice. Have fun. Have fun. It's always nice getting all that suspension stuff on there. Make sure you get in alignment. I don't think I need to tell you that though, because you seem like you already know what you're doing on that one. But it sounds fun. Sounds fun. What time is it? Ooh, we've been going for like 2 hours almost. Jesus. All right, I am jumping off because my bladder's like about to blow up, and I don't want to pee my pants on a live stream. I'd rather do that off a live stream where no one can see it, but only the cool kids pee their pants. Remember that. But honestly, I appreciate everyone swinging through the stream tonight. We're gonna be doing another one Friday. Streams happen every Tuesday and Friday for you guys. About 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is typically when they happen. I hope everyone has an awesome Thanksgiving and an extended Thanksgiving weekend if you guys have Thursday and Friday off. If any of you guys work retail, best of luck to you guys on Black Friday. I have no idea how lockdowns are affecting that, so hopefully it's not too bad for you guys. And if you guys do want to snag anything, everything on sale, or everything merch-wise is on sale up until Friday at midnight. Everything's already discounted on the website for you guys, so you guys don't have to put in any extra codes or anything like that. But with that, once again, I appreciate everyone swinging through. I hope you guys have an awesome Thanksgiving, and I will see you guys on Friday in the next live stream. And keep an eye out on the Instagram, because remember, a new car is going to be coming here soon. But have a good night, everyone.